In this video, I'm going to show you how you can work with precision. I just draw a box over here. The first way that we can ensure precision is by using the transform palette. Once I've got my box selected, I'm going to type in the values. Let's say I want this to be 70 by 60. Now, one thing that I will show you is it's called our reference point. We can set the reference point to any one of these squares over here. By default, it is the center. And if I change this to say 120 millimeters, it does so from the center. If I click on the left, it will keep it at this left and it will make it 120 from this point outwards, just like that. Conversely, if I do it over this side, again, this makes sense. Now, even if I did it at the top right or the top left or the bottom or whatever, so long as I'm on one of these nodes here, it really doesn't matter. Given that I'm only changing it in the horizontal plane, that is fine. If I was changing it also in the vertical, then that would be different. So if I said I want this to actually be 120 by 20, well then it does it from that particular point over there. So using the reference point, such a valuable thing to do. Together with smart guides turned on, these two things alone can definitely improve accuracy in working with precision. If we go to the view menu and we turn on rulers by going to rulers over here, show rulers. If I move past the top ruler and the left ruler and now I click out, I can now get that particular thing. And once I click it there, that tells me that it's 0 and 0. So now when I look at my object, that point there is 0, 0. It's really useful if once I've done all my measurements on paper, I can actually plot this out over here. So it actually doesn't matter that this is sitting in space. I know that this particular thing was 70 and 60. So now if I do this, I want that to be at 70 millimeters there and 0 on my Y. It's another way that you can work accurately. Something else that we've seen before is that you can use the enter button when something is selected, and I can move it and copy it at the same time. So horizontally, I do not want it to move anywhere. Vertically, I want it to move 10 down, and I can say copy, and now I know that that is perfectly in alignment there. Using my object transform again tool, Command D, Control D, I can now make repeated ones over there. So that's one way that I can definitely work with precision. I can change my reference point. I can use this thing to reset where my 0, 0 is if that's the way that I want to work, as well as making sure that I have got my smart guides turned on. Let's look at this in a situation where we want to create gears, like I know some of you do want to. We have got 4 gears. So I don't want this outside, so I'm going to remove that. I actually don't want number 3 either, so I'm going to remove that. I only want these 2 gears. I can alter the number of teeth, the pitch, the diameter, all that kind of good stuff. What I want to do here is actually draw these gears in Illustrator. Just going to take a screenshot of this. You can choose to pay for it at a future time. I'm just demonstrating for you here on how to be able to draw, well, essentially how to trace. When you have something that you want to trace, you go to the file menu, go to place, then navigate to your directory, and I'm going to click there and bring it in. Now I'm going to access my layers menu because I don't want this to continue moving around. I'm just going to lock the entire layer and create a new layer over here. Let me zoom in. Now you notice that I told you about guides before. I'm just going to click and drag out a guide here and here because this is actually going to help me create this gear. What I'm going to do is use my pen tool. I'm going to click once. I'm going to click on this over here. I'm going to click on that. I'll click there, click on that. I'll click somewhere around there, down, click it over here, and then I need to close it off. So I go back to that point over here. I'm now going to make this whole gear. So I'm going to click over here. I'm going to click on my rotate tool. If I do nothing else, it's just going to spin in the middle. That's not what I want to do. I'm going to position my mouse over here and hold down Alt or Option, and then I'm going to click once. When I do that, it brings up this dialog box that I can type in a value. Let's go 30. I'll use a tab button to see preview. It's more than 30. Let's say 45. It looks to be 45. I'm going to copy that. Now when I go to my transform again, it's going to repeat that last command, which was to copy and rotate. So I'm going to do that a whole bunch of times. Turn off that layer so I can actually just see what I've done. It looks to be all right. If I do that one more time, it looks to have started over the top. I can verify that by going to the outline menu. I'll zoom in. Now it doesn't look like I have got like a little ghost over there. It looks like it's exactly over the top, which is exactly what I want. I'm gonna delete that because I've already got one that exists. If I select all this now, I can open my Pathfinder menu and I can click on Unite. And now that joins it all together.